Do you know they've authorised rubber bullets for tomorrow? Yay! Rubber bullets for the police tomorrow! Yay! Shoot the students with rubber bullets! Yay! That'll slow them down. We'll stop the revolution with some rubber bullets! Yay!
They are wearing strange dragons and checkerboard symbols on their foreheads alongside the Queen's crown. You are all potential terrorists in the New World Order.
On that house, and it and great was the fall of it.
Old and carry on. We need to withdraw all our advanced technology, martial art, mechanism carriers, in the camouflage.
We also saw in the newspapers today that the police have been authorised by the Conservative government the use of rubber bullets against unarmed student protesters. Makes me very proud to be half British, very proud. But all I think when I see these reports of the police ramping up and becoming more military in their tactics is that this is an excellent propaganda victory for the resistance. As the state becomes increasingly desperate and hands out massive jail sentences to rioters, as they have the political arrests of students to go on demonstrations, as they bring out the use of rubber bullets. This is all the progress, the matrix playing itself out towards the general confrontation between consciousness which likes to share and likes to be human, and consciousness which wants to dominate and control from the top of the pyramid. So what I'd like to say for tomorrow is, yeah, go on the march, use it more as a kind of spirit of resistance thing. I hate to be pessimistic, but we're not going to overthrow the British government tomorrow in this march, but it's still very important that we go out there and show the country and show the world that we're pissed off and that we want change. So there's ways you can fight the system quietly and peacefully, and the best way that I recommend doing it is to simply not pay tax. And if you're thinking, oh, but my employer takes tax at source, well, there's an answer for you. Maybe you should look at alternative ways of supporting yourself rather than working in a corporate job, doing a job you hate for 10 hours a day, paying tax at source. So if you don't pay tax, you are not financially responsible for the killing, you just happen to live in a country where the state does lots of killing. So the first thing you can do is to stop supporting it financially.
Free speech is very incredibly valuable and basic to democracy, and with free speech you either use it or lose it. And these are one of the few forums we have. It's the rich and powerful who own the media. And if you turn on the BBC tonight, everyone will be wearing a red poppy. And it's really concerning me, the whole red poppy thing. It reminds me of the McCarthyist period and the whole loyalty oath. And it's more of a statement not to have one on than have one on. And often the red sentimentality about the dead of the past, while we're sending cannon fodder from this city to an unwinnable war in Afghanistan, soon to be, and Pakistan, is such a contradiction. Some people in this square mile have profited from those wars. And that's very, very important to remember. And some of the institutions that push this sentimentality are the ones who profit from war. What concerns me about this week as we go into the 11th of the 11th and the whole red poppy mania is not only the question of sentimentality and love, but the nature of modern warfare. Now, I grew up during the Vietnam War, and there was, even at that stage, they needed popular support to convince young people to go and kill and die for them. And now they don't need popular support at all to have their wars. All they need at the centre of empire, from London to Sydney to DC, is our silence and our sedation. And we have a real culture of passivity based on consumerism replacing spirituality as our identity. And that's a very dangerous space to be in. And I think the exciting thing about this phenomenon we're here at today with the Occupy movement is that people are hopefully breaking out of their passivity and breaking out of their roles, designated roles as passive consumers, where they think the only freedom they've got is at the point of consumption.
There's a woman in Wrexham who refused to fill in her census form. She refused to fill in her census because of Lockheed Martin's involvement in data processing. Lockheed Martin is the biggest arms exporter in the world and manufactures all sorts of deadly weapons. It manufactures Trident nuclear missiles, it makes the F-16 fighters that Israel used to bomb Gaza, and it makes cluster bombs, basically it's involved in killing. That's its business. And she refused to fill in her census in protest at Lockheed Martin having this huge lucrative contract with the government to process the census data. I'm sure that millions of people didn't fill in their censuses this time. There was a lot of protest, but the government will be targeting a very small number of people to try and make an example of them, to try and scare other people into complying next time.
The government does not represent the best interests of the people of this country or any country. It represents the interests of a tiny group of people who own the banks and the corporations which the taxpayers' money is siphoned off to, and the resources of the world are basically pillaged in the name of freedom and democracy. The job of any successful peace movement is to make that known and make that obvious to everyone in the country, so that we can withdraw any form of perceived consensus that its behaviour is right. One of the problems in this country is ignorance and people's belief that the system is somehow got a good intention, that the government does actually, despite its mistakes, it does act in the general benefit of everybody. And to anyone who's really looked into it, it becomes obvious that morally speaking that is completely false. Because we have the most powerful thing that no army, no government has. We have truth on our side, and truth is the most powerful thing that we have. And we do not need to resort to violence because we have truth.
Of love, of peace.